I'm taking a quick walk here, and I just got off a call with a group that's doing some really cool stuff with AI. I wanted to share a little bit about this. It's raining a bit now, which I didn't expect, so hopefully you can hear me somewhat well. Essentially, the group that I was talking to was showing me how they could effectively increase my show-up rate from 4% to about 32 to 37%. So 8 to 9 times what it is right now, all using AI. They are able to get financing and effectively help clients pay $0 out of pocket for high ticket sales right off the bat, to where they can pay anywhere from a pretty low monthly amounts. We're talking $100 a month for a 10K offer, right? And then on top of that, one of the biggest kickers, there's actually two. One of them is they have a mapped out mindset system that shows you exactly where the problems are in your business. It's connected with all your softwares, and will show you exactly what's going on. And what it's doing is it's using mathematic thinking, or systemized thinking, to effectively show you where that is set up. But they did it through AI, and it's very ingenious, very, very cool stuff that they've been able to put together. I haven't used it. The effectiveness of it hasn't been tested, at least by myself, but I mean, the case studies they were showing me, they're scaling people left and right with this software, and AI specifically. And then finally, I have a tool right now that is mimicking what setters. And if you're not familiar what a setter is essentially the guy that jumps on the call to set the appointment. He's qualifying whether, when you filled out the information on the ad, that all the things check out, and he's doing a little bit of qualifying questions to figure out specifically if you'd qualify for the offer, and if this would be a good fit, and disqualifying you if not. And this AI is replicating that. It's eerie to listen to it. They are analyzing thousands and thousands of calls from their sales and setters, and the AI is essentially taking all that information and replicating it. Can use persuasive language. It talks very, very similar to a human being. You wouldn't even know the difference. I've heard it chat a little bit, and it was pretty eye-opening. Very cool stuff, don't get me wrong. I think it's amazing what the technology that is coming out, and how rapidly it's coming out, is able to do. But what it makes me question, because I got really, when they were kind of telling me about this, there were some things going off in my head, like it's like I always go back to this, but it's like, what is their starting point, right? And it's ultimately to help businesses. This is what they think, and what they put out is ultimately to help businesses scale very, very quickly by pretty much putting all the systems in place. And so what does that do for entrepreneurs or people that want to start something with a product? What it does for them is it allows them to scale very, very quickly. But what it also does is it skips over a lot of the very valuable steps and allows for very shitty products to be dumped on people that aren't necessarily within a guided principle other than profit, right? And so these consumers are being more and more morphed by these tools to buy, right? And the less and less that they're educated in terms of being able to discern information based on a principle or principles other than profit and other than feeling from the customer, right? If they're making all these decisions off feeling and emotion, they're being completely abused by the companies and the AIs now that know exactly how to pull those strings at exactly the right time with exact amount of pressure. I mean, it's incredible what is being all put together. And their sole driver is profit. So on one end you have the profit, on the other end you have the customer that is making decisions off of emotions and feelings. And so you have this cyclical cycle of profit or money that is being driven by the energy that people are creating through their emotion and their feelings. And now you have AI that's abusing that at such a higher level. And so the more and more people that are not making decisions off of principled action, right, to do something that's best, not only for them, but for the ultimate good of humanity, right, then what ends up happening is you have more and more separation and more pull on all of the resources that are here. This is extremely obvious. I think you can start to see as you look at all of our resources are being put into money, right? Everything is being pulled out of the ground to be turned into money, right? Essentially nothing, right? And I think it's very interesting to consider based on some of the other videos I was talking about, because it's like the more that we just kind of ignore, roll over this whole education piece, or not see it as something that is the most crucial piece of the pie here, the more and more the separation will become, and the more and more of the very few will be controlling the mass at an unimaginable rate, and there's not going to be a lot to do. So again, I really warn and hope people take this seriously when they see all this AIs and stuff coming out, that yes, it can be utilized if you have principles and if you're living by those principles, and if those principles are based in what's best for everyone. But if they're not, then you're creating more of what's going on now, which is only separation, and it's only going to cause more and more suffering, aka enslavement, to the point where you won't even know you're enslaved, and that you're just going through your normal life and think that that's how it is. So yeah, if you guys are interested in some solutions, I'm here pushing a lot of cool stuff and a lot of things that are so important to be said right now. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to chat.